Every morning, you need to mind hack and murder hack your brand.
Exponential growth is exponential.
Look at your calendar and burn it. What is your personal winning resume?
The number one thing that they don't teach in school is to make money. Entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneur.
Produce.
I am literally a god.
Spartans!
Business.
Money hacks. Hi, and welcome to Business Money.
Our arrows will blot out the sun.
I really want to cut that.
What part? Because
where he comes in and he's talking about the arrows.
You want to cut the whole intro, or
no, the arrow part, because it's very disruptive. It feels like it really cuts off the flow of conversation.
Well, we didn't start the conversation, if it's all the same to you, we'll just keep it in. And do you want me to do the intro?
No. Here, I'll do it. Hi, everybody. This is Business Money Hacks, and I am Bridge Stewart.
And I am Dustin Taylor Hahn.
Today we have we're going to be talking about economic aspects of the economy, and just dealing with those sort of things that a lot of people, we came to find out, don't actually know a lot about the economy.
And we're also going to be talking about how do you manage a budget with your personal life, and how do you manage your budget within business, and how do you manage other people's budgets, in a sense. I live in my own economy. If you have your own compound, if you have your own state or country, that's something that I'm building right now so that I can live on my own and not worry about anybody else on the planet, including potential friends or anybody who pretends that they would love me, but they don't actually love me.
It's such an admirable thing that you're doing that. I personally am still stuck in the global economy, the U.S. economy. Occasionally I'll dabble in the maritime economy. But yeah, it's a troubling thing being stuck under the really dogmatic rules of the U.S. government economy. It's so important to know the facts. I wish they would have an economy class in high school so that we could really drill it into these kids, really just grind it into these kids what the economy is all about.
I was homeschooled, and my mother and father would have two drills in their hands. One they were teaching me, and they'd say, if you don't learn this, I'm going to drill this into your skull. That was the threat every morning.
Wow.
So it's just interesting that you use the same terminology.
That sounds like a great motivator.
And you could see on my hands here, I have two holes in both of my hands, stigmata style. I know you'll appreciate that, being a devout Catholic. I was drilled to the desk in my home because I wouldn't sit still.
That's a great way to teach a kid how to learn. I mean, just to drill your child's hand into a desk to make them learn, I think is a very profound way to drill it into their head, to be honest.
Or drill it into their egg.
Drill it into their egg. Crack that egg and drill is what I say.
So let's get down to it, because we could talk about the economy all day long, but we do have a special guest who I'm hoping that Dr. Corvis, you can help me create my own economy and not work within the confines of the U.S. government or the world government. So, Doctor, can you give us a little rundown of who you are, just for our audience?
Yeah, so I'm an economic advisor. Currently, I'm the personal economic advisor to the Crown Prince Shahib, the second of his name in Nigeria. He is a Nigerian prince who's currently working on securing sort of like crowdsourcing funds via email from American citizens. So I've been an advisor to him for the past 7 years. I'm currently serving as...
I think I've gotten those emails. They usually go straight to the spam folder. I should look at that.
That's right. You should look at that, because he's actually a very important prince who's trying to get just to help out the average American worker. He's very concerned about the welfare of the American working class.
Crown Prince
sounds like a very noble man.
In Nigeria. Yeah, he's very noble. And you can tell that by his robes.
Mm-hmm. He sounds like I can make a lot of money.
This sounds like an opportunity.
It sounds like a great opportunity.
It is an opportunity. It is an investment. And I will tell you, I have seen, his throne rooms and that palace. I mean, he has backup thrones, this guy. And he's got vaults that are filled with just stacks of money that he is just kind of wanting to spread around some of this inherited wealth. And I, for one, suggest that if you get an email from this Nigerian prince, to accept it.
With the email, I'm looking at the email right now, and he says he's trying to get money out of. His brother was trying to get money away from him. I'm trying to read it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Sounds like there's a lot of conflict.
There's a lot of conflict with his family, and he wants me
You know,
to.
the royal family in Nigeria, I don't want to get into details of it, but it's a whole Shakespearean tragedy over there. I mean, you've got family members turning on each other, and Shahib, he just wants the best for his hoard of cash that he's accumulated over his life, because he is one of the best humanitarians out there in the world today. So I've been advising him, and I'm also the lead financial executive officer for Joe's Crab Shack, globally working for Joe's Crab Shack.
So these are huge clientele. These are very demanding clientele. I mean, with your experience in economics, I'm sure that you don't become a doctor in economics just by screwing around. You need to earn that doctor in economics.
That's true. Actually, they are honorary doctorates from Harvard Community College in Miami, Florida, and I actually do sell economy-related DVDs on my web space as well.
Sounds legit. Now, tell me about Harvard. You said you were a Harvard graduate.
I was educated at Harvard Community College. It's pronounced Harvard, but it's actually spelled Harverd. Harvard.
Harvard.
So
That's right. Harvard. I am Harvard educated.
I like that. The technically, I love, because I use that all the time. I know you do as well, Bridge. Technically, the gun is safe. Technically, I'm paying these people.
Technically, it is Harvard. It is Harvard, technically. So that's all that matters. That's really all that matters. Yeah. So one question we wanted to sort of discuss with you is the economy seems to be moving so fast everywhere. We've got Bitcoin, we've got all these currencies, we've got China, we've got all these things happening right now. Right. What is the big thing to be talking about?
I'm so glad you asked that, because it is true that everyone right now is talking about Bitcoin, digital currency, currency that you can't see. Bitcoin, what people have to remember is it's just a little bit. It's not actual money you can hold in your hands. And
I've never seen it.
It's like the roots of the economy, and they teach you this day one at Harvard, is that the money began as seashells, and people would trade 5 seashells for 1 pig, and then they turn around and invest that pig into securing milk from a camel, for instance, or a turtle.
Are you referring to early Wall Street?
We are not that far removed evolutionarily from our primitive economic ancestors.
It's almost like saying, invest in this mutual funds. It's 2 cows and a horse.
Exactly. The other thing I'd like to say is that the state of the economy in the United States today is incredibly precarious. If the economy were a meatball that my Nana Gracie made for my sister's wedding, it would be halfway to rolling off the table by now. And if you want to continue with this meatball analogy for a second, you can picture the current trade war going on with China as being not dissimilar to the way that my Uncle Tony would drunkenly argue over who gets to eat the last meatball with his older brother Greg. And meanwhile, your wife's cousins are drinking Chardonnay and crying in the garage. And this is pretty much where the analogy ends, but it's basically a microcosm that confronts the current U.S. Economic reality.
So you're saying it's a feeding frenzy over this meatball situation. Everybody's trying to get
Everyone's
meatball.
trying to get their own meatballs.
Everyone wants a piece of the meatball, and there's only so much to spread around at this point.
So if I were to try to make my own meatball, if I were to try to make my own Swedish meatball that's actually you could eat, what would be the recipe for that?
I don't even want to think about Swedish, because in my analogy, I'm thinking of Italian meatballs, and I don't even know what goes into a Swedish meatball. If you can,
they put berries on it. They put berries. They put like fruit on the meatball, which I have mixed feelings about it.
Oh.
Lingonberries. Lingonberries.
Okay, that's exotic. Wait. So what was your the initial?
Well, I'm trying to make my own Swedish meatballs.
Right.
I have my own compound. I've paid for the land.
Okay.
It's adjacent to New Zealand.
Right.
How do I create my own Swedish meatballs, and what's the recipe?
You want to make sound market investments, and I cannot say that again. Sound market investments. I know what a market is. What's a market? Okay, the market is where people trade and sell, and talk, and exchange, and sometimes fall in love. You've all heard the expression "monkey or fish" to describe market investments in the economy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, in this case, it's neither, because the free market economy is more of a monkey-fish hybrid. So I'm talking both scales and paws, both booms and busts.
And it just has the strengths of both, but the weaknesses of neither.
Exactly. Which, I mean, there you go. You have just described the economic reality in this country.
So it can like hop from tree to tree while just taking a deep dive.
The economy is a free form creature. It's constantly evolving. It's constantly changing.
Now I drew a monkey fish. I've been drawing a monkey fish for you. Is this
that? Oh, that's exactly right.
If I were to make my own form of currency and I had a monkey fish on the if I were to create a monkey fish, in my scientific rooms,
sure,
could I then take a photo of the monkey fish and put it onto the coins so that the people working under my wing could sell each other monkey fish coins?
Exactly. Yeah, I think you've got a pretty good grasp on the way that the trade economy is working right now.
I just think it's a beautiful image, like you constructing this monkey fish in a laboratory and just letting it go wild, just swimming and just jumping from limb to limb as it screeches about the economy. I think is a beautiful sight.
But I don't get carried away. We don't have a utopian vision right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, that kind of brings us to our next point. I mean, we're talking about the global economy. We're talking about the U.S. What other countries do you see really rearing their head in the global economy right now, besides the United States, of course?
Yeah. China, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
China, obviously. You've got President, I think it's Mao, and he is doing terrible. He's got.
There's a cultural revolution going on right now in China.
There's a cultural revolution, yeah.
I think they're talking about that it might turn into a communist state pretty soon.
It might turn communist,
and that's going to do hell on the markets.
Fingers crossed that doesn't happen. Another, I think, competition that we've really got to start thinking about is Switzerland. Yeah, because they are so neutral, that they are so impartial. You get them in a board meeting, and they're going to make sound investments because they have no emotional attachment whatsoever, and that's a threat because we invest out of pure emotion. And
as I do always, whenever I have to meet up with anyone, I first make sure to yell out my name as loud as I can, just so that people can get attention on me. And my face gets very red at that moment because I start thinking about my past and the mistakes that I've made and the murders that I've done. And it makes me angry knowing that other people might find out about that.
Yeah. Going back to that Swiss that you're talking about, those Swiss, they're a cold-blooded bunch. They don't feel anything. I've done some business with the Swiss, and they're not afraid. I like to generally enter a boardroom and just start, like you said, just scream at people. Really get under their skin. Those Swiss
don't. They don't
care. It's like they're robots. It's like they're soulless.
Yeah. Never look a Swiss in the eyes because they'll look right back into you and you won't get anywhere near them. They have cold black eyes.
It's just like staring into an oblivion. It's like looking at yourself.
I don't trust the Swiss, and you know, as long as
Aren't
we're
they?
going to get on,
They're half alien, aren't they? Or aren't they half?
Nords.
The Nords are full human beings, or are they?
The Nords are an alien hybrid race. You know about Nords?
No.
Well, I personally don't believe in any of that because God didn't create aliens, obviously. But you're welcome to your beliefs.
Well, okay. Picking up on a thread you mentioned about Swiss people being like robots, that's a good point because that leads me into something I wanted to touch upon. Everyone's afraid that the jobs are going to the hands of foreign workers, but really it's the automatons that we want to worry about. It is the robots are going to take all of our jobs, including the presidency, by 2020, 2021.
That's very soon. That's very soon.
It's very soon.
That's 3 years.
That's 3 years from now.
And what I've been telling people is stay behind the robo-wall at the Citadel. Let's build that robo-wall high, and let's keep out the automatons. And that's a good thing for investors. I say the humans should hunker down at the Citadel for as long as possible to keep them out.
Bridge,
you're getting a little hot-headed right now.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I completely disagree. I say let them roam. Let those robots... the quicker you make them, let them out of the factories, let them do what they're going to do, because what they're doing is going to be way beyond what we can do. Even the Swiss, who are basically robots anyway.
Robots, yeah.
I think there's a purity to a robot, that cold steel that is just it's a beautiful thing to witness, and I feel like the quicker we let those robots start making the decisions for us, honestly, the better. I mean, I would love it if my family was told what to do in their own home.
Right.
By a cold steel.
Dr. Sasserson, I do have to apologize to you. This is an argument that Bridge and I have all the time. I don't agree. I don't completely agree with him. I appreciate his cold steel and his cold demeanor.
Well, it's controversial.
Yeah.
I respect the controversy, and sure, is there purity in automation? I suppose, but I don't want to be drinking, nano milk anytime soon. I don't want my babies to drink nano milk from my wife's robotic breasts, and that, unfortunately, is the very real future that is coming for us if we start making this an automated robot-sourced economy.
If there's a possible way, I'm going to be a mediator here because I'm trying to figure out a way so that I could live with my robot companion, Bridge, and when everything does fall apart in 2021, I would like to live in harmony with Bridge's robot automatons. That would be my world. I'm trying to create a way so that I can turn into sort of a brain creature that could roam the skies, while Bridge as a automaton can take care of the land area, and obviously the water has been just dried up at that point.
And I understand. I understand the fear that comes with the coming robot takeover. Essentially, I mean, it's a scary thing. It's a scary thing imagining suckling nano milk. The fact of the matter is, a nano breast is going to be 10 times more productive. The fact of the matter is, nano milk is 12 times more delicious. And these are facts of nano milk, and the sooner we come to grips. But I totally understand the fear. I was afraid at first, and then I just really had to crush that down.
Well, I wish I could learn to accept it as you have, Bridge. I think you're right. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to argue that the nano milk has a lot more nutrients in it, but it's not human, and that's kind of my point.
Yeah, get back to that turtle milk like you were bringing up earlier. Yeah, that monkey fish milk.
Yeah,
I think we can all use more of that.
I think before we get to the nanobot milk, if I could have a shot at it and create my monkey fish.
I drink all sorts of milk.
But let's get back to the basics.
Again, I'm trying to create my own economy. What's step one?
Okay, great question. Picture the biggest Subway sandwich you've ever imagined. Not eaten, but imagined. Now double it. Now double that. And you've got a sense of how large your private economy needs to be in order to compete with traditional market growths in the United States right now.
So that's a 24 inch. That would be 24 inches.
24 inches is the biggest Subway sandwich you can imagine.
Well, a Subway sandwich, the largest Subway sandwich is a foot long. You wanted me to double it. The double it is 24.
That'd be 48, right? Because you doubled twice. That's a lot of growth.
It grows width and it grows length.
It grows
and depth as well. It's a 3D. It's sort of a 3-dimensional economy, is what you're saying.
Oh, that's how it works. And Dustin, I think you just hit the screw on the head there.
Well, that's a beautiful idea of visualizing just a Subway sandwich that is protruding in different directions constantly, infinitely. That is just engulfing everything in its path, absorbing it in its path. I think that's a beautiful representation of what the market is, of what economics are.
Oh, it's a big sandwich, and that's So one thing to keep in mind is, and what I'm driving at here is that endless growth that is underpinning all of what we're talking about today, right? Endless growth,
infinite growth.
It's a fact of nature. It's a fact of life. The planet's infinite. No one knows how big the planet is. No one knows how much resources we have out there. It's endless.
There's so many people saying, oh, conserve. Oh, we got to not do this. We got to not cut this many trees down. People don't know how big this thing is and how much we can grow.
It's endless. People don't understand. They talk about, factors of climate change affecting the economy. That's never going to happen because of how big stuff is. How long does it take you to run, without a car, to your closest gas station?
Oh, it's endless.
You're going to be out of breath. You're going to be dehydrated. And it's because, wow, imagine running from there to the next closest gas station.
Yeah.
How long is that going to take?
I wouldn't even want to imagine.
The brain can't even conceive of that kind of distance.
I know that with business, Bridge, you've said to me dozens of times, when you're at the top, there's nowhere to go but up.
There's nowhere to go but up. People that say that there are finite resources is a complete representation of a can't-do attitude. That is so negative, and that is completely un-American. I'd say it's more European, maybe not the Swiss.
And globally speaking, when you talk about finite resources, no one knows what's underneath the planet. Underneath the planet is just another planet Earth, and it's not a problem to swap one out and bring in the other. And people don't realize that either when they talk about finite growth. And it is a can't-do attitude. It is un-American, and it's defeatist, plain and simple.
So the reserved planet that you're referring to, which is under the Earth's core,
they're endless. And this is what we don't understand, because scientists are, I know this is a little out of my wheelhouse, but this is just common knowledge at this point, I think, is that scientists can't look down, right? We can only look up at our space, at the night sky.
Yeah.
We can't look down because we can only look up.
I believe you because you said it 3 times in a row.
We're going to be okay.
So there's a planet where Bridge can have his robot uprising and robot world, where robot milk is spraying around and creating fountains of love, and then I can have my world where there are hundreds of giant brains that are floating above the land, and you could have your world where the robotics Swedish are no more.
And that isn't even my ultimate goal. I just want to do the best I can to help Prince Shahid and to help people benefit from him. And that's another thing I was going to say is I'm going to keep sending you guys out those emails. Have you both received the emails?
As we're speaking, my emails are popping up over and over again. It doesn't stop at this point.
It's like a ticker tape. It just keeps going and going and going.
I keep getting more emails. I keep opening them up, and now. Yep, now my computer is slowing down a little bit.
Attention, your computer may be infected with the virus. Attention, your computer may be infected with the virus.
The Swiss all day, but at the end of it, all I want is a Nigerian prince-based economy in this country.
That's great.
I might have to get a new email at this point.
you're welcome. So,
Dr. Corvis Sasserson.
Thank you so much
for joining us today. I mean, I've learned so much about Nigerian-based economy. It's a very profound thing. I don't know if I'm going to be learning too much. My computer's I think it's about to die here.
Yeah, your phone. My phone's getting hot.
Might have to.
You're sending me lots of emails right now.
Burning up in here.
yeah, you're going to get a lot more, and your family's also.
Well,
this is a happy virus, is what I call this.
You know what they say about spam? Mm-hmm. It's cheaper than meat. So eat it up. Enjoy that spam. Don't filter it out.
I do have one issue here because Bridge seems to be shaking a bit. Now Bridge has a chip in the back of his brain.
He's got a chip
in the back of his egg. Oh, he has an egg chip that we put back there, and it is connected directly to his email, so he could check in his email whenever he wants through his egg. So
that's good.
Yeah, it's good. Not great right now.
Not great right now because you are getting.
Attention, Bridge.
I'm really getting.
You may be infected with a
virus in my head.
Remove chip implant immediately. Warning.
Between that and
Warning.
meningitis.
Warning.
So,
we'll look into
Attention,
that.
Bridge. Remove egg. Chip immediately.
You can briefly tell me what's going on in Wall Street right now. I know that there are they've let the bulls loose and they've let the bears loose, and now the bulls and the bears are fighting each other.
Last I heard, it's not even Wall Street. That's the real center of trade anymore. I mean, yeah, Wall Street's old news. Go down a couple blocks. There's like a red painted garage and a neon light, and you want to go down there.
We got to take care of the situation. I'm so sorry to cut you off, Sasserson. Bridge is getting white. He's not looking good right now.
I'm not feeling great.
Not feeling great.
These emails they just keep coming in, and I can't see.
Thank you, Dr. Sasserson. Oh, okay, yeah, I'll send you that when I create the monkey fish, I will send you monkey fish milk.
Remove egg chip immediately.